Sea of Thieves Season 4 is finally launched, bringing in new underwater areas consisting of Siren Shrines, which ask the player to explore and solve puzzles, and Siren Treasuries, which consist of an arena where players must fight against waves of enemies. Both of these Siren structures contain new mermaid statues that allow you to load your treasure into them and then retrieve it later by interacting with a mermaid that appears on the water's surface. Honestly, it's a pretty cool way to get your loot so that you can sell it, but today, I'm going to show you how to weaponize fish people. Keep in mind that you can do this trick with any of the treasuries, or even the shrines, depending on how many kegs you find inside. But this one seems to work best with the Treasury of Lost Ancients, which is located in the Ancient Isles region and pretty close to the Reaper's hideout. The first thing you're going to want to do is head down into the Lost Ancients treasury and begin clearing it out. As you're fighting, make sure you don't accidentally detonate any of the kegs, and position yourself in such a way that enemies won't trigger them either. In between waves, or whenever you find time, you want to take the kegs and stack them at the entrance of the room next to the little portal. Take care to drop them and get away when enemies spawn so they don't set them off. When you get a keg skeleton wave, just kite them over to your stack and take them out with a well-placed shot to the kneecaps. Then pick up their keg and add it to the pile. Next thing you want to do is just finish clearing out the treasury. I recommend using the tridents because they kill absolutely everything in seconds, but just be careful with your charge shots. Once you're finished, you can go ahead and put your loot onto the statue and return to your ship to collect it. Before you leave, though, you want to swim back down to the treasury and find your stack of kegs. Take note that the light on the surface and the glowing trails that previously led down to it will be gone now, but if you look for the calm spot in the water or just check your map, you can still swim down and find it. Go ahead and take your stack of kegs and move them back into the antechamber right before the arena. Load those bad boys into your friend and mine, the mermaid statue, and you're good to go. The next time you're in combat somewhere nearby, you can try getting the other ship to chase you, and then using the mermaid to automatically deploy the minefield when they're close enough. With some good navigating and a little bit of luck, that other crew is in for a nasty surprise if they keep chasing. Probably not going to hit with every keg, but the way that they spread out still makes this a nifty little trick to add to your arsenal. Tested this a few times and found that the mermaid will hold onto your kegs for a couple of hours at least, and it doesn't seem like it resets even if your ship sinks. So it makes the most sense to prepare this technique at the beginning of your session and just keep it in your back pocket until you actually need it. It's worth noting that your mileage will also vary with the amount of keg skeleton waves that actually spawn. I've definitely had treasury runs where it seems like every other wave is a keg scaly wave, and I've also seen it only spawn one the entire time. Obviously, the dream scenario is to get someone to run straight into a minefield of 20 kegs, but it would be tricky to do, and it's doubtful that more experienced crews will fall for it. So you may actually want to try a couple different variations of the strategy with your crew, and find the one that's most effective. For example, let's say you're playing on a galleon with a crew of 4. You can load up 6 kegs into the statue, and when somebody chases you past that location, 3 of you jump off the side and pull the kegs while the last guy steers the ship. Each of you picks one up and starts swimming for their ship to go for a boarding action, meaning you've got 3 shots at a keg plate, even if they don't sail straight through, and if they do, you've left a nice little navigational hazard in your wake, because at the end of the day, 3 kegs is still 3 more kegs than they want to hit. Obviously, it's still early on in the season, so some or all of this may be subject to change in the future. Regardless, I hope you found this guide helpful. See ya.